In tonight's headlines, newly converted youth hostel set to welcome tenants in December. Labour Secretary says individuals coming under the talent scheme should adapt to the high cost of living in the SAR. And Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party suffers a setback after losing majority in the lower house.
A newly approved youth hostel in Kowloon City is now accepting applications, with the earliest move-in date set for December the 1st. The project, named YOT Hub, is located on the 4th to 6th floors of the Regal Oriental Hotel, offering 80 double rooms with a maximum capacity for 160 tenants. Monthly rentals start at approximately 4,500 per person. Applicants must be Hong Kong permanent residents under 31 years of age, with a monthly income of not more than $28,000. Successful applicants will be assigned to share rooms with others of the same gender. Apart from the rent, tenants will be required to participate in 200 hours of activities annually to help them better understand the motherland and connect to the local communities, including visits to the People's Liberation Army garrison and the Greater Bay Area. This property is the 5th government-funded project to transform hotels into youth hostels and will operate for 3 years, with tenants required to sign a 2-year lease. Commerce Chief Algernon Yao expressed optimism over the new policy to reduce tax on spirits, reaffirming the government's commitment to make the SAR a hub for the global liquor trade.
Chambers of Commerce expressed interest in our policies, and they are also confident about it.
Permanent Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development Maggie Wong elaborated further on the policy.
We have fully explained this very important initiative in this year's policy address to the heads of ETOs. For some countries with more activities relating to liquor, I know that they will ramp up publicity in this regard.
However, the SAR's economic office in the United States is facing possible closure. The move is not expected to have any significant impact, as commented by Chief Secretary Eric Chan earlier.
Now, according to the government, there will not be a significant impact even in the event of the closure of the Hong Kong ETOs in the United States. If the impact is not significant, I can't help but doubt why we are spending so much money to keep these ETOs running every year.
Yao clarified that the Chief Secretary was not suggesting that the trade offices are insignificant. The Commerce Minister also highlighted his bureau's role in promoting a positive narrative about the city. Jeremy Chu, Cable News. Lawmakers have raised concerns about the high cost of living faced by individuals settling in the SAR under the talent scheme, and also for the lack of job opportunities for local graduates. During a legislative panel discussion, Labour and Welfare Secretary Chris Sun asserted that some individuals coming under the Top Talent Pass scheme are entrepreneurs and create job opportunities. Addressing concerns over the high cost of living, Sun said if the new arrivals can't adjust, we shouldn't force them to stay here. Citing the example of London, the minister highlighted that any place which has a high cost of living also has ample opportunities, and that is why people go there. Sun also reiterated that arrivals under the scheme do not pose a threat to the local workforce. Ramping up the government's initiative on industrial safety, Sun assured that the administration has enhanced job safety training, site inspections, and significantly increased penalties for violations. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
In an effort to give visitors a more in-depth experience while touring the urban areas in Central and Shenwan, the Urban Renewal Authority, in collaboration with the Salvation Army, is launching guided excursions of the area, which will commence next month. The free expeditions under the authority's City Work program is called Touring Central with Locals, and we recruit nearly 60 tour guides aged 55 or above who were born and raised in Central and Shenwan. These seasoned natives will introduce visitors to the rich history of the area and its surroundings. The guides will also incorporate their personal experiences and memories into the tour, allowing participants to gain insights into the significant changes that have taken place, especially on Hollywood Road, Central Market, and Staunton Street. The tours will be conducted in Cantonese, and 40 such excursions will be offered starting November 9th to mid-January next year. Those interested in joining can register on the URA's website. Ernest Cheng, General Manager of Property and Land for the URA, said, "The pilot project is just a first step in exploring the city's heritage. Based on the evaluation, similar tours will be launched in other unique communities, such as the flower markets in Prince Edward."
Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba is on thin ice after his ruling coalition lost its parliamentary majority in a disastrous snap election. After voting was completed yesterday, Ishiba's Liberal Democratic Party, which has governed Japan almost continuously for 7 decades, secured 215 seats along with its coalition partner, Komeito, in the 465-seat lower house, falling short for the 233 need of a majority. In a speech after the loss, Ishiba said the party has received severe judgment, adding they would humbly accept the result. Ishiba called the election only days after taking office on October 1st, aiming to bolster his position. He indicated that his party is open to cooperating with opposition groups if that suits the public's expectations. Despite the setback, the LDP remains the top party in Japan's parliament, and its coalition retains a majority in the less powerful upper house. A change of government is not expected, but the results created political uncertainty. Falling short for a majority makes it difficult for Ishiba to get his party's policies through parliament, and he may need to find a third coalition partner. Meanwhile, the opposition Constitutional Democratic Party, led by centrist leader Yoshihiko Noda, made huge gains, winning 148 seats, 50 more than its previous best of 98. We accomplished our goal of preventing the ruling coalition from a majority, which was a major achievement, Noda said. Quentin Yang, Cable News. In a bid to take a small pause in the fighting in the Gaza Strip, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has proposed a 2-day ceasefire in the year-long war between Israel and Hamas. The proposal includes exchanging 4 Israeli hostages held in Gaza for Palestinian prisoners in Israel, to be followed by more negotiations within the next 10 days to achieve a temporary ceasefire. Sisi made the offer at a news conference in Cairo, which was attended by visiting Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune. Egypt's proposal comes as Israel's top spy, Mossad chief David Barney, traveled to Doha for talks with the director of the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, William Burns, and the Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman bin Jassim Al Thani. However, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made it clear that the war will not end until Hamas is wiped out from Gaza. Meanwhile, a Palestinian official stated that Hamas remains determined that any agreement must center around ending the war and the withdrawal of the Israeli forces from Gaza. With no decision yet, Israel's air and ground onslaught in Gaza continued claiming dozens of lives, most of which are women and children. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Hong Kong's imports and exports recorded a fair year-on-year increase in the month of September. Outbound shipments rose by 4.7%, amounting to $398 billion. However, the figure was 1.7% lower than that for the month of August, when exports went up by 6.4%. Meanwhile, the imports saw a modest increase of 1.4% from a year earlier at $451 billion. down 6.5% from August, leading to an expanded trade deficit of $53.2 billion. For the first 9 months of the year, the total value of goods exported increased by 10.7% over the same period in 2023. On a seasonally adjusted basis, the value of total exports of goods decreased by 2.3%, while the value of imports of goods increased by 1.8% in the third quarter of 2024 when compared with the second quarter. A government spokesperson indicated that escalating trade conflicts and global economic uncertainties may continue to affect the city's export performance. However, improved prospects of the mainland economy should provide some support.